Hey, friends, and welcome back to another episode of Chismeando con la Jennys. I am your host, Jennifer Mercado, and I'm so happy that you're here. On today's episode, we have somebody very, very special, a very close friend of mine, I would say.
Yes.
I would say. She also has a podcast of her own.
Yes, I do. It's called Tell Me Something Good.
Yes, with her cousin.
Jelly.
Yeah, me. Let's finish each other's sentences at this point.
Yes.
She's also a local real estate agent here in the Triad area. And fun fact, she helped me buy my house
I did. This
4
was
years ago.
that was a
long time ago.
and I was working here when you
Yeah, you were working here
Yeah.
at McKinsey Real Estate, and wow, crazy how everything turned.
Yeah.
Which, a fun fact, the only reason that I am in real estate is thanks to Jackie. I remember coming to her and saying, like, what do I do with my life? At that time, I was planning to go to college for dental assistant, and that never worked out.
You know what? I did the same thing. After high school, I went to college for dental. And
Did
then
you? I did not know that.
Physical therapy. I was like, I want to do it. But then I was like, this ain't anatomy and physiology. No, thank you.
You know, I can see you as a therapist.
I could see that too. You
Yeah.
know, I was looking up.
You have like this aura of you that just makes people happy.
Makes you want to spill the tea. I swear.
Yes.
People be telling me everything. I'm like, I'm like, okay. And then how did you feel? No, but that makes me happy because I feel
Yeah.
like I was actually looking at what it would take to go back to school for a psychology
Ooh,
degree.
yeah.
But it takes like 4 years, and I'm like, but by the time time flies.
Time does fly, but here's the thing. I feel like we should just do what we want to do now in this life. And if you want to go back to school, why not?
I know.
I mean, what are you gonna lose?
Nothing.
Money.
Money.
You're going to sit in debt. But what else?
But yeah, I was thinking that because I was like, I really enjoy this, but I got my life coaching certificate, but I'm like, is that even enough for me to be able to give somebody? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I go to school for like psychology, and I feel like that would be, I could see myself doing that. And I'm like, I'm still young, right?
Like for that, would you want to be focused on adults or kids?
I don't
or
know.
what is your niche there?
Niche. I would say probably adults.
Adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adults. Yeah.
I can see you doing that for sure.
But we'll
yeah.
see. I don't know. I'll be saying, and then I'll be.
And then she'd be like, you know what? Never mind.
Never mind, I'm gonna be a stripper. I'm just kidding. We were talking about doing an OnlyFans, or what was it? Sugar baby.
No, we were talking about you becoming a sugar baby to somebody. So if anybody who watches this podcast wants to
Be my sugar daddy,
Want
but
to sponsor
doesn't
Jackie.
want any sugar.
just the
Hit me
daddy
up.
part.
We're
No,
just
for
kidding.
sure. She also, me and her have, well, since last year, we have been running around downtown during the summer when it's pretty outside. But I think until this year, we have officially gotten serious about working out. Or let me not say we, me. Me.
Me too.
Me. Honestly, I think this year, like 2025, I think it is the year for everybody to take their health seriously.
Yeah,
If
I
I'm
agree.
not like, I think me as a fat person, like it's hard to do things and to get on rides. Like literally, I had the most embarrassing experience of my life last year when I went to the fair in Myrtle Beach and I was trying to get on a ride and this thing would not buckle up. Like, you know how embarrassing that is? And I'm like, let me not get on these ever again. So I only be getting on the Ferris wheel.
After that, she's like, I'm afraid of heights. Now that's the new character.
I'm afraid of
Yeah, I
heights.
don't like-
No, for sure.
Oh, but sometimes you have to because I even feel like you don't realize that you've changed until it takes a moment like
it
that to be like,
does.
wait, like what? Why do I feel like?
Yeah.
Remember how that felt?
I think with that being said, like being somebody who used to be skinny whenever they were younger, and of course, obviously you grow, your body changes. You grow boobs, you grow your ass. Like whatever the case is, like obviously your body changes, but at the same time, you don't realize that until you want to do something that you used to do and you can't.
Yep.
And so this year, like at the beginning of the year, I told myself, I was like, okay, this is the year, like we got to get to the gym. Obviously I didn't start going like religiously until the beginning of March. That's whenever I was like, all right, like it's time. Well, yeah, the beginning of this month.
It's only
actually.
been a
A
month,
month.
but I feel like you've been like locked.
Yeah,
And,
it,
like-
it's been hard though. Like there's days where I'm just like, I don't want to get up. I don't want to go to the gym. But obviously the hardest part is going to the gym, driving yourself
Yeah.
there. Because when you're in there, like you're like, dang, I wish I had more time.
Yes, and you have no choice but to do something that
Yeah.
you can't just
Yes.
sit there on your phone.
Yeah.
Like you have to be doing something. But I feel like you've been like doing really good.
Thank you.
And you look good. Like I don't know if you've been keeping track of where you're been or where, but you literally look so good.
Thank you. Well, I also took the purpose of like starting my gym journey, I guess, this month because of Lent.
Yes.
Like I knew I was gonna give up something. I knew that like soda for me was a huge thing. Like obviously I went from drinking regular, I guess, soda to drinking Coke Zero or whatever, but I
Yes.
still feel like soda is soda.
Yep,
like it
I
doesn't
agree.
matter whether it has a zero in front of it, whether it has a diet in front of it. Honestly, it could be even worse.
Yeah, I think it has more chemicals.
So it's like, but I think letting go of soda and then letting go of drinking. Oh my God, I have not been drinking this whole month.
How does that feel? How do you feel by not drinking?
Honestly, I think this month has been the most stressful month of my life. So I don't
If
know.
you could go through this month, you could go your whole life sober.
I've been getting home and sometimes I'm like, I need a bottle of wine. Not a glass. I need a bottle of wine. But no, I'm like, I've been doing good. It's been feeling good. Like,
Yeah.
being in a good state of mind and stuff. And I think this is a times where you can also grow closer to God.
Yep.
Because instead of like turning yourself into drinking, you're like, okay, God, like you sit there and you talk to him, you're like, I'm going through this, how do I fix it? But at the end of the day, like you're like, but it's not me. Like you've been reading Mel Robbins,
Let Them, yes.
which I've been seeing on TikTok videos of it, and I'm so excited to read it. I think I'm gonna buy it on my Kindle. But they're obviously, tell us a little bit about it and how much you've liked it, because that's all. I haven't read it, but I'm like, you know what? Let them.
Let them.
It's fine. It's not about me.
The other day I had a table and I think Lexi was like, hey, I think that they need it. I'm like, let them. Let them. I'm going. They can wait. Let them. I'm doing the best that I can.
Tell me why me and Jackie the other day where I was like, let them, Jackie. And she was like, yeah, let them. And then we ran across a video on TikTok where this girl was like, this guy just hit your car. Or let them.
You just got hit. Or this car, yeah, like, let them. That car just, you just got hit. Like,
let them. It's okay. No, but for real.
So I actually, like, I think that I've tried to have that mindset, but sometimes I realize I don't, because I try to control other people's actions. Or even if I don't try to control it, I think that I know what they should have done better. And I'm like, if only they do this, if only they did that. But I'm like, no, let them. They're going to learn on their own. And then it talks about let them and then let me. So there's two parts to it. So you let people do what they want to do and then let me handle it how I, like, just let, you deal with it on your own. You don't have to tell anybody what but I like it because you realize that you're not, whatever people do is none of your control. It's none of your business either. Like at the end of the day, people are going to do what they're going to do, whether you're telling them what to do or whether you tell them not to do it. And if you do tell people what to do, eventually they're going to resort back to how they do things or how
they are, for sure. And I feel like with that, you can put it in anybody's point of view, not just you being a businesswoman or a man, because we're not genderfying over here. No, but like it doesn't matter like what you're doing and what field you're in and what jobs you are in. Like at the end of the day, people are always gonna have something to say about you. I feel like like it doesn't matter how successful you are, they're always gonna find something to like bring you down upon. And honestly, that's more of a reflection of them than it is of you. And that's something I've learned throughout my life, like hard. I feel like because there's the Leo in me is very outgoing, is very sunshiny, and everywhere we go. But there's always a part of me that like wants to take control of things, and I'm like, I can't control that. I can't do that. I can't, like, I just gotta let it go and let them, and let them. And then like what was the second part?
And let
me like have some peace of mind. Let me know, it's fine. At the end of the day, whether anything in your life, like just let them and let me.
Because I remember
and pray to God.
Yeah, pray. And you know what you were saying about being sober? It's like you're forced to face things instead of covering them up with alcohol. You know,
and I feel like back then you're like, oh, I had a rough day.
Let's go have a drink.
Let's go have a drink, and like it fixes the problem and it makes you, I guess, in a way forget. But it's always gonna be there. If you felt that way in one point of your life, and or like you felt that way at the moment, it doesn't matter like how much you drink or whatever, because the next day when you wake up, you're just gonna
still
have a
there.
headache and you will remember.
You have more problems on top of that problem because now you're hungover and now you probably said things you regret because you were drunk and you were mad. Like, because I know that sometimes whenever I drink and I'm like venting, I'm like, like I say too much. The next time I'm like, did I
say that?
Did I have to say all that? But no, I do think like this month you've been really locking in though. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, that motivates me to like not drink, and because I don't really drink that much, but when I drink, sometimes I'd be like drinking.
Drinking.
But I don't
Yeah.
like. I want to feel like that too. Like,
Which, don't get me wrong, like drinking is not bad. It doesn't matter what people say. Like, to me, drinking is not bad. Like, obviously, don't go out there and like, like, don't do that.
don't be acting drunk like a drunk
Yeah.
mess. I've been there.
or
but
like
don't do it.
or like don't be doing other things that is harming your body. Like, obviously, we're not consenting for you to go and do a line or inject yourself with something. Like, we're not saying that, but if you drink responsibly. Like, know that, always be conscious when you're drinking, because I
Yeah.
think that's one thing that these young youth, and me being a part of it, but I feel like I'm old.
me being a part of it, hitting 30. I'm like, this
No,
young,
these young youth,
young
like-
generation.
Like, I think people nowadays just get drunk to like black out, and like that's not the
No.
case. Like, getting drunk is for you to socialize with people. Yeah, like it might feel good or whatever at the moment, but I mean, more women have to protect themselves whenever
Yeah.
like you're out and about and drinking. Like, you always gotta be very conscious about that. And if you're not, have a friend that's sober with you,
Yes.
because you just never know. But obviously, don't be drunk enough where that friend gotta carry you out, because then that's a problem.
Yeah, the only thing that I can say from my experience of like getting drunk and being out is when you're in public, don't get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, do not get drunk when you're in public, because number one, you're not in control of yourself, of what you say, what you do, and you're not in control of what others do. So
Yeah.
you don't know what could happen. The fights always break out when there's alcohol and you're in a public place. But if you are going to get drunk, do it in a house where you trust the people that you're with. And
even then, I've seen cases, girl, on TikTok where like you think that they're their friends and like something bad ends up happening to like the person, and I'm like,
and no
that's
one took care of them.
crazy. Yeah.
Because but I would say like, we've all been there. I've been there
Yeah.
plenty of times. I've done things that I regret, and that's why like now, like when I do have kids, I'm gonna be the first to tell them like, be careful.
Yeah.
You don't know. When you're drunk, you don't make the best decisions.
you don't.
You really don't.
you don't. Me,
And not only that though, like drinking and driving, and if you're driving, just have one drink and keep it two drinks, and that's it. But I think like the consequences are big when you
They are big.
when you do. But
and like I said, it's not something that's bad. Like, drinking is not bad.
I mean, it says it in the Bible. You could drink, but don't
yourself
get
a glass
drunk.
of wine.
Drunkenness,
Yeah.
drunkenness is what's
yeah. What's
bad.
bad? It's a sin,
because you're allowing like spirits. Like, it's called
Yeah.
a spirit because it changes who you are too.
Yes.
It takes over you.
And think about it this way: whenever you're sober and in control of your mind, like you're protecting yourself from thinking certain things, from allowing certain things to come into your brain and like put that thought in there. But whenever you're drunk, like, you're loose.
Mm-hmm.
You're you sí, como dice Carla.
Loose as a ghost. I'm loose as a goose.
But like you really are, like, and it's not only like physically, but it's also like mentally. Like, you're not thinking straight. You don't care like what happens around you, and that's whenever the bad guy wants to come in and like put these thoughts in you. And that's why you see so many stories of like drunk people like doing bad things whenever you're like, but they were good, like,
Yeah.
they never did anything wrong, type stuff. So it's just keeping yourself in a level where you're a little tipsy, but you're still sober enough to know how to get home, what to do in a scenario if something
Yes.
happens to you. So there's that. And even like, I'm gonna go, like, we're going everywhere, but even whenever you're getting close to your faith, right? You would hear a lot of people telling you like if you're drinking or like you're partying or you're saying bad words or whatever the case is, like, they're like, oh, like que muy goes to church, or like que muy reads her Bibles or something like that. Because I've gotten people tell me that. And by people, I mean my brother, my biggest hater.
It be your own brothers.
It be my own family. No, but like you hear that and you're like, okay, whoa, like, you know, like I just started meeting God. Like I've known him my whole life, but like personally meeting him and wanting to get close to him and wanting to have that relationship just a few months ago.
Yep.
You know,
Same.
like I can't change the habits that have been in me for the past, you know, how long am I? 23. Like for the past 6-7 years.
Yeah.
Like that I'm just mañana. Like it can't happen, you know? And I get it. Like I'm not saying that everybody, you know, doesn't change. I'm not saying that because you can change, you know?
Yeah.
But I feel like you also like getting close to God doesn't mean that you're a saint.
No.
I'm sorry to say it.
And it takes almost rewiring your brain
It
to
does.
stop doing things.
Yeah.
And the difference now though is that you feel conviction.
Yes.
Like back then I
Yes.
could do things and not feel bad. I was good.
Yeah.
But now when I do something or I'm not proud of what I did, I'm like, oh, God's not happy with me. Like,
Yes.
and like trust me, if people can see it, I know it. Like
Yeah.
if people could, like if someone can tell you like you're drinking, you're this, like you already told yourself these things. So like, honey, I know.
Yeah, like that is the different, like now whenever you're out or like whenever I'm saying a bad word, like I be catching myself and I'm
Yes.
like I'm sorry, God.
like
I don't know how
my
many
bad.
I'm sorry gods I say during the day, but like I genuinely mean it. Like it's just a slip of the tongue that
Yeah.
like that's how I talk. Like literally every sentence comes out with a bad word. And I'm surprised I haven't said one on here. So
We haven't said any bad words right now. I know, and honestly, like I try my best, but sometimes when I get so in the conversation, it just comes out. But I never like say it referring
Yeah.
to other people. So I'm like, I don't know if that makes it any better.
like I don't mean like I said, it just habits you cannot change like
from
this.
one day to another,
You know,
it's
and
gonna
people
take-
who say they do is because I mean, kudos to you, congratulations. But like I feel like I gotta stop saying like. Anyways. But I feel whenever you do go through a change like this, it's because you've gone through something so impactful in your life.
yes, mm-hmm.
And that's what people don't understand. Like there's scenarios in your life that makes you grow closer to God or
Yeah.
for whatever reason. I know for me it was a lot of like in a way, I think a lot of hurt that had happened throughout the ending of last year and the beginning of this year and like everything where I'm just like, you know what, like I need God.
yeah,
Like God might not need me, but I need God,
Mhm.
you know? And getting to start a Bible study with Tanya last year in July was honestly like one of the best things that could have happened to me because not only have I learned so much about the story of Jesus, like I actually want to be there.
yes.
Nobody's forcing me to go to church. Nobody's forcing me to
Open your Bible.
open my Bible, do my rosarios, like. And I feel like whenever you come from a place where it's forced, you don't want to do it.
Yep.
And I see it. I see it a lot with like a lot of my friends who their parents are Catholics. Like they're like, bro, like why would you want to do that? Whenever we're younger, we'd go to church. Like why would you want to go and do that again? But it's like this is different. Like nobody's forcing my hand to do anything. I want to do this because it makes me feel good. It makes me want to wake up every day and read a Bible verse and like that's very important. Every day when you wake up, read a verse of the Bible.
Yeah.
Pray to God. Thank Him for waking
Thank
up.
Him.
Because you don't know how many people out there are currently battling cancer, are currently battling so many enfermedades that we take what we have for granted.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like until it doesn't happen to somebody close to you or in your family, you don't realize that.
You don't.
Like for us right now, my family, the Mercado side of the family, like, well, both sides of the family actually have gone through so much. You know, I have a aunt who has cancer and it's terminal. And then I have on my mom's side, my padrino or my uncle, well, he's both, who just suffered an accident at work. So it's like, until things don't happen around you, you do not take, like, you don't have that point of view.
Yeah, you take things for granted. You take your health. I saw this thing one time that was like, until you have, like, once you have a health problem, that's your only problem. Everything else is like good. And that's why I do think that we should, you know, getting closer to God, you know, we appreciate that. Waking up every day is a gift that not everybody gets. There's people who don't even wake up. They don't know they're not going to wake up. So, but yeah, reading a Bible verse and even downloading the Bible app,
Yeah.
I feel like that's...
I've been reading the verses since out at midnight every day when I wake up. And I'm like, oh. And some days I'm like, this is what I needed for today. That's how crazy it is.
Did you know that everyone gets the same Bible verse? I did not know that. Like,
Really?
Like, I think everybody gets the same
What was
one.
yours for yesterday?
Where's my phone?
Mine was I can never say these Bible names. My bad. Philippians 2:13. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So today's verse of the day was. You want to read it?
For it is God who works in you both to will and to work for his good pleasure.
Yeah.
But I do think that whenever we are trying to change and get closer to God, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are going to be like, oh, ya se cree bien santa porque
Yeah.
now she does this, now she goes to Bible study.
People are like, "Oh, you think you're better than me or whatever." I'm like, that is not the case.
Yeah.
Honestly, I could probably say that I am like the biggest sinner of like all times, and it's not even about like physical sin or like anything like that, but it's more of what comes out of my mouth. Like,
No, go ahead.
yeah, it's like more what comes out of my mouth because I just can't bite my tongue, and I need to learn to do that.
Pray for it. Just pray about it. Be like, please hold. Like whenever I want to say something.
Yeah, but now I don't react to things as much as I used to before, and now I'm like, I see things happen, and I pray about it, and I pray for that person, or I pray for whatever the scenario is, and I'm like, it's okay, I'm gonna pray for it, and God knows.
God sees everything.
God sees everything, and at the end of the day, we are no one to judge anybody. We are no one to judge us or ourselves. The only person who can judge us is God.
Yeah, and even judging other people, and because I feel like sometimes I get into that. Like I'll be like, why do they do this that way, or why do they handle this? But I'm like, God sees it. God's gonna judge you. At the end of the day, I'm not the one deciding where you go when you go. Like I can think I know where you're gonna go, but I could be wrong, honey. I don't know. But only God sees what you say and what you do behind closed doors, not what you do in public, not what you do, what you post, not what you want to make it seem like you are who you are, but God sees everything.
He really does. And I think whenever you start getting closer to God in your faith, you see a big change in your life. You see a lot more of motivation to do things. You see a lot more of empathy in yourself to help people, whether you think they deserve it or not. You see a lot of change in you that you're like, maybe I did had this in me all along, but I didn't know it until now. With that being said, circling back to being healthy and the gym journey, like you think about it and you're like, God has given me perfectly great legs and a perfect body, right?
Yes.
And you're treating it like crap. You're treating it by crap by eating the things you do and living the life you do and not doing anything to better yourself, right? Because at the end of the day, God has put you in this earth for a purpose.
Yep.
And you can't fulfill your purpose if you're eating unhealthy and you end up giving yourself a heart attack down the road.
Yep.
So, and like experience, of course, like whenever you're fat or like overweight, you have no energy to do absolutely nothing. I feel like that's been my hardest thing for me is actually having the energy to do things and actually waking up in the morning. But as I'm doing my studies on everything, like it's because whenever you're in this way, it's a lot harder, right? But it's not impossible. It really is not.
And even like what you eat, like if you're always eating processed foods or always like, even for me, when I eat like crap, I feel like crap. I feel like if I go 2 days and I eat like horrible, when I tell you like I will not care what I eat, I'll eat whatever, I feel like I'm going through a hangover. Like the next 2 days, I'm like, my body's hungover. And not only that, but it affects your skin, it affects your mood, it affects literally everything. But yeah, even it's not even just about weight, it's about literally what you eat. Because someone can look healthy, yet they eat like crap, they smoke, they drink, and they still don't have that energy or have that. But
it really isn't what you ate though, because my biggest insecurity for me is weighing myself. Because even when I was younger and had a flat tummy or whatever the case was, like I was thin and healthy, I still weighed like a lot. Like I still weighed more than my mom. And my mom has been looking the same for years.
You're like, no, but
like, yeah, it's true. Like I used to always weigh more than her. So I knew for me, it wasn't so much about the weight, but for me, it's about how I look and how I appear to people, or not even to people, to myself, really. Mm-hmm. Like if you start to look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, you can change it.
Yeah, you can literally decide today and say,
yeah,
I'm tired of this. And sometimes you have to get tired of your own shit. You have to, sorry,
no,
I just cussed.
Sorry, God.
You have to get tired of your own stuff, of feeling like that, of
But
Like-
only you can feel that way, you know,
Yes.
because people can tell you all the time. Like I can tell Jackie all I want, like you look like this, which honestly, like she looks great. But you can look like this, you can look like that. But until you don't see that in yourself, and obviously I'm not saying to go hate yourself now, like don't hate your body. But I'm just saying, like, for me, it took that. Like it took for me, like I have the cutest outfits in mind all the time, but I never wear them because I don't like how they look on me. I don't like how my stomach is so big. Like, I just don't like it. And I don't wear them. And that causes me to be uncomfortable with myself, uncomfortable with being around people, always trying to cover myself for whatever reason. And it's not okay for you to feel that way because it's something you can change.
Yes.
If it was something that I couldn't change, then maybe like you got to learn to live with it. But it is something you can change. Going to the gym, like as anxiety as it brings me to go in there and do things, at the end of the day, I think to myself, I'm like, you know, everybody started out somewhere.
And everyone's there for the same thing.
Yeah.
To better ourselves. No one's there to judge. And if you're there to judge, you're there for the wrong thing. But I don't think people are there for that.
Yeah.
I think everyone's there taking the time out of their day. They're not getting paid to be there. No one's getting paid to be there. You're paying to be there. Yeah. So we can all relate that we're all there to better ourselves.
Yeah, and that's like that's where I come from with, like, I started getting a lot more comfortable going to the gym now and like using the machines on the other side of the gym, because I used to just stay on the treadmill and like in the little room or on the Stairmaster. But I'm like, you know what? No, like we're all here for I'm paying for the whole gym too. Like I can do it, right? Whether I'm doing the workout wrong or not, I mean, that's completely up in the air. I guess you guys will never know.
No, but I feel like you got it. Like that, we did a workout last week, and she put us through the workout. Girl, my arms were sore, but she put us through the workout. And you're taking the time to learn these things, to go on TikTok,
to go on TikTok and watch videos of people.
And I think that we are just, everyone that's at the gym is there for a purpose or there to do something. And I think it like kind of like shows you that you are more disciplined in other ways. Do you feel like because you started being more disciplined with the gym, you felt more disciplined to do other things too?
But yes, I do feel better in a lot of ways. Like last week, I did not go to the gym for 2-3 days, and I feel like crap. Like you can feel your body like feeling like crap, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like with you being disciplined with the gym, doesn't that make you feel capable of other things in your life too?
Yes.
Like you're like, well, if I can be disciplined in this, then it's so easy to do other things. Because I think that when you do hard things, you learn that they're not that hard. And you start doing other things that you're like, wait, that's not as hard as I thought.
Yeah.
You start kind of training yourself or proving to yourself that you can do things.
Yeah. And I mean, it's true because it is true with that, because now with real estate, I'm like, I get here a lot more earlier than I used to. I'm like a lot more productive with what I do and like how I'm handling my clients and stuff. And you get, I don't know why, but it's like you're clear-headed in a way. Because you're not constantly stressed about things. In a way, the gym has been something where I can go for an hour or two and think about absolutely nothing and just work out, read. Whenever I'm on the Stairmaster, I take my Kindle and I read on there. And it's just something that you're just like, it's something good for you, right? Yeah. And it doesn't even consist of you going to the gym. You can go outside. You can go outside and like go for a walk around the block, or maybe three blocks, or whatever the case is. Like, just take yourself out of the situation you are now and focus on something better.
Yep.
In a way.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like when you're not doing something, like you're just wasting your life away. I've been there too, like where I literally wake up and I'm like, what am I gonna do today? Like, what is my?
You know how many people would kill to have the abilities that we have,
and we have like the ability to go to the gym at almost like we have no excuse.
I gotta go. You know, but for me, I've learned that what works best for me is going in the morning or like in the middle of the day.
Yeah,
because if I go any later, I won't do anything. It's a waste of time to go like in the afternoon or whatever, because I'm like, I don't want to be here. Like, I just want to go home.
And there's so many people.
Yes,
it gets packed at like a certain time. So are you gonna do 75 hard? I want to
either do 75 hard or 75 soft.
75 soft is the difference is one workout, right?
Yes.
That's the only difference, I think.
Let me check.
And you drink.
You know who we ask about these things? ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
That is my bestie.
But I think it's you do one workout every single day, but you only drink in special occasions.
Yes, and you have a cheat day, I believe.
Because I did 30 soft last year. I only did
like it.
30 days. It was good. It wasn't hard. Like literally,
If it wasn't hard, you need to push yourself harder. Huh?
Yeah, it was not hard. The only thing the reason I wouldn't do 75 hard is just because of the 2 workouts a day. Because I think it's like, but
let's look it up.
Because with the 75 hard, you have to do 1 outdoor, 1 indoor, at least 1 workout outdoor.
You know what I want to pick up too? I want to pick up playing tennis or pickleball.
Let's do it. Tennis is fun.
Yeah,
Let's
and
do
then
tennis.
I also want to play volleyball this summer. Obviously, now we have the if you live in Ashburn, North Carolina, we now have a sportsplex towards Sioux City, and it's wonderful. It has a bunch of football fields, a bunch of soccer fields. It has a pickleball field, volleyball fields.
It has where you can. It has a trail,
and it does have a trail, and then it also has like an outside workout gym.
Oh yeah,
in the corner lot over there. So it's wonderful, and that's not the only park we have with such things like that. We have other ones, but okay. So the 75 hard rules are 2 45-minute workouts per day. 1 must be outside. Follow a strict diet. No cheats. No alcohol. No cheats. That's crazy work. I thought that was a cheat day.
That's for 75 hard though.
Yeah. Drink a gallon of water daily. Read 10 pages of nonfiction. Oh, that's where it's gonna kill me.
The nonfiction.
The nonfiction.
You can start reading. Let them.
I can. And then self-development book. Take a daily progress photo. So that's a 75 hard. 75 soft rules are 1 45-minute workout per day, indoor or outdoor. Eat healthy, but allow occasional treats and alcohol in moderation. Drink a gallon of water daily and read 10 pages of a book. So really, the only difference is it's 1 workout per day, and you are allowed to have cheat days.
And I feel like if you do 75 soft, you should go ahead and look at those 75 days and say, what special occasions do I have coming up?
Yes.
And don't add a special occasion in there. Like, you know, like if I have like my mom's birthday on this day, like I know I'll have a drink at that or whatever. Yeah. But like, I think that's where.
But then again, you're choosing to have a drink that day.
Yeah, and that's the only.
That is the big but. That's definitely going to be a challenge because I have been not going out for that same reason of not wanting to fall into temptation. But I think this is also a great test to see if I can do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I can. And everybody has the willpower in them to not do things.
To not do it.
So I think, honestly, Jackie, I'm going to do the 70. I think I'm going to do the 75 hard.
75 hard?
Yeah.
I think you can do it.
I think so too. I think you should do the 75 soft and that we can come back on the podcast and talk to them about where the difference and how we felt about things. Like I said, I think the biggest thing for me is reading a nonfiction book. I am a huge fiction and romance reader.
Well, you can still read nonfiction.
With a little bit of smut.
You can still read it though.
Well, yeah, of course. But you have to add.
Yeah, you have to add to it. But girl, if you can read a whole book, she can read a whole book in a day. There's no excuse.
Yeah, but it's interesting.
Yes.
No, with that being said, also the book club, I also have that going on.
That's
and it's
right.
great. So book club for me, we get together once a month and we're reading thrillers. So that's definitely different from what I generally read, but I felt like book club had to be something different, something where everybody was interested in something, and who isn't interested in thriller?
A thriller. Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the book we're currently reading right now is called The Inmate by Frida, and I'm halfway there, so I can't tell y'all the ending.
But what is it about?
So this one, from what I've read so far, it's about a girl who, when she was 16, 17 years old, she had a boyfriend who was a jock. I mean, he was in football. He was super popular with everybody, but he was poor. But whenever they were sleeping over at his house with 4 of their other friends, one of them being, I think his name is Tim, something like that, which was the girl's best friend and her neighbor, because she invited him the next day. From what I know so far, people woke up dead and she woke up being strangled by someone, and she blamed her boyfriend because they made her believe it was him. Now, do I know if it's him or not? Who knows? Because right now we're currently in the present. We're kind of going back and forth. But in the present, she got pregnant with him because they had sex that night. Yeah. And she had her kid or whatever, but he doesn't know that she was pregnant.
Is he in jail? Did he go to jail?
He's in jail. Like,
Okay.
yeah, for life. So far he's done 10 years in jail, and she got a job being a nurse there. Yeah. So she was nervous, but she moved back to her hometown after her parents died. And now she's working at the jail. She's run into him 3 times already. And yeah, so far it's crazy. And her best friend, I guess her former best friend and her neighbor, he moved into his parents' house, which they're still neighbors in the same
Okay.
neighborhood, and he is the principal of where her kid goes.
So everybody's connected
Yeah,
in some
so
way.
he's figured out that her 10-year-old is the son of the person who's in jail. So my guess to the ending of the book, I don't know, right? My guess to the ending of the book is that Timmy was the one who killed everybody and was trying to kill her, and then blamed it on him, and she
Wait,
testified.
who's Timmy, the neighbor?
The best friend.
The best
Yeah,
friend?
Yeah. So because he hated the boyfriend and he liked her.
Oh, then it
Like
was
you
him.
can tell.
Yep.
So I think that's what happens at the end of the book. I'm not there yet. And Samantha texted me the other day and she was like, "Oh my God, have you read the ending?" And I'm like, "No, like don't tell me. I don't want to know." Because I have so many guesses in my head. I'm like, it had to be him.
And watch it be somebody completely
I know. I was
different.
like, I know. It probably is. But I'm like there's just no other way that my brain, like, it has to be him. However.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm currently at right now. I'm super excited to finish it. And yeah, but you should definitely join the next one.
I know. I'm reading 3 books right now.
Yeah. Which ones are you reading?
I'm reading the Let Them.
Yeah.
And then I started reading Crazy Love, which is another, you'll
Is it
really,
like Crazy Asians?
No.
There's a movie, right?
That's a show, I think.
Oh.
Or a movie. But it's about God's love for us. So you'll love it. I'll let you borrow it after I'm done with it. It's it's an easy read, but it's really good. I started
Is it
reading
the one your neighbor gave you?
They told me to order it. So he's like,
okay.
you need this book. So I started reading that one last week too. And then I was reading another one. What is the name of it? I'm almost done with that one. Hidden Potential. I'm almost done with that one. But
What is that one about?
it just talks about how even if you've made mistakes in life or whatever, you still have potential. Like and it's also like a Christian book. But it talks about like failing is like it says like failing is only a sin if you allow it to, like,
Yeah.
if you are defined by it. But it's really good. I'll let you borrow that one too if you want to. Those are like self-help too.
Yeah,
but
whenever. Yeah, please. Because here's the thing. I buy a lot of self-help books. Like I've bought Untamed by, I don't know her name, but I don't know who the author is for that one.
Oh,
but
I know what you're talking
I've
about.
heard that it's a really good read. I have it. I have Think and Grow Rich. I bought How to Talk to People as a Real Estate Agent. Like I have all those books. I don't prioritize them as much as I do with my
you're smart.
my smut books.
We should do a book exchange. Like every month, I'll let you borrow one of mine. You let me borrow one of yours.
Oh my God, that would be so fun.
Like we do like a what is it called? Like a book swap.
But let me clear the air because I like smut books. I do. I do like having the romance and then maybe a little bit of, but here's the thing. Whenever they have too much smut, I get the ick immediately. I'm like, what am I reading? Is this like porn.com or what? Like
and it says the same things
over
like,
and over
yeah.
again. And then there's times where like I'm reading it and like they get into a certain, I'm like, how do y'all do that? Like, anyway, so whenever it has way too much, I don't like it. And I would never recommend books like that. To me, it has to have like a perfect balance between I want to get to know the characters, I want to get to know their stories, how they feel, how they grew up, whether they have trauma, whether they have anything, like a great story behind them, and then how they fall in love, and then obviously,
And then when it gets to that.
yeah, when it gets to that. So whenever I get a book and the first 10 chapters already have smut in there, I'm like, this is going to be a porn book.
Yeah.
Like, this is I'm not going to learn anything about these characters, because I have learned that good books with great storytelling, the smut don't start until chapter 20.
That is true. You're right though.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I was I posted a TikTok about this like a while back, but I started watching 50 Shades of Grey again, like for the first time.
Oh my God, I love Christian Grey.
No,
Cece is going like this.
I watched this years ago and I thought it was so good, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I love him. I watched this again and I'm like, ew, this is cringe. Like he is like the way he says, I don't like him. I don't like no. I don't.
Here's
like
the thing: I don't like him in the first movie. I don't think he's attractive in the first movie. But in the second and third movie, okay, now I can see it now. You know, and you can say whatever you want to me.
I think I like 365 Days better.
Ew, no.
I don't know if it's because I like the man.
You said that was porn, right?
No,
there.
but I don't know if it's because I like.
That was watching porn in the big screen.
But I don't know if it's because I like the man on that one or because I actually like the movie.
I did not like 365 Days, and I watched all three of them, and I'm like,
but if you think about the storyline,
what storyline, Jackie? There was no storyline.
He kidnapped her and gave her 365 days to fall in love with him.
Okay, but it was just weird. Like, here's the thing. Here's where I can't wrap my head around. What happened at the end of that first movie? She got into a car crash, right? Then the next movie, we fall into them getting married, and I'm like, what happened to her? So then by the end of the second movie, she ends up getting kidnapped, I think, or whatever. And she ends up sacrificing herself for him. And then the next movie starts off whenever like she cheats on him. And I'm like, what is happening here?
Yeah, I don't know about
it's so
the other
confusing.
ones.
And there's no storyline with it. With 50 Shades of Grey now, you have a storyline behind Anna, behind Christian, on why he's so reserved, on why he doesn't let you touch him. Like, you get a story. That's what I'm talking about, Jackie. You see?
No, but
we need to exchange books. Yes.
But I think that when I watched the movie, it was just cringe the way he says things. Like when I rewatched it, I was like, and I think it's a comedy.
I think it was cringe whenever he spanked her like 20 times. I'm like, honey, you lay a finger on me, I will sock you. I will sock you.
Wait. I don't want to know this, but maybe don't put this, but never mind.
What?
You don't like when your man just like gives you a little smack?
Okay, but that was torture, Jackie. That was him going, like, getting off, like, inflicting pain on her.
I forgot that part where he does smack her, where there's like her body boils up or something like that.
Whenever like she goes against him or whatever, and he's like, she's like, punish me, and then she does it, and I'm like, that is cringe. Like, ooh, I will sock you so hard. Like, we were watching yesterday the short film for All Too Well by Taylor Swift. Okay. Have you watched it?
I don't think I've seen it.
You should watch it. It's a little short film. It's 0 to 20 minutes, and the song is already 10 minutes long. But with the short film, me and Sergio were watching it together, and he's like, at the very beginning, I didn't tell him who the song was, but he recognizes who it is. Like, right
he's
away.
like, I know it's.
He's like, Taylor Swift. I'm like, no, it's Selena Gomez.
It's okay, but pause. Selena Gomez's new album is pretty good.
Yeah, okay. I haven't listened to it.
Sorry,
but I need to listen to it. But so in the short film, like, there's things that the guy does, and Sergio's like, yeah, I can relate to him there. And then whenever I'm like, I would sock you. I would sock you so hard in the face. You do not understand, sir. Like, you just gotta watch it.
What does he do?
So the song is about.
I know. I love that song.
Yes, obviously you know what it's about and stuff. And in the short film, like, he's having a whole temper tantrum and throwing her the car keys. And I'll be like, honey, I would sit there and look at them keys until you came over and picked them up. Like, you think I'm gonna give in? No, not me. And then there's another case where, like, he was hanging out with his friends and she tried to reach for his hand and he, like, pushed it away.
Oh, no, thanks.
So then there's another one where I'm like, I will hit you so hard. You do not understand.
And I will never hold your hand for the rest of my life.
For the rest of my life, exactly.
You will never hold my hand if you do that to me.
And then there was another scene where she, after, like, he let go of her hand, like, she was telling him, like, you make me feel crazy. You make me feel, she's like, I don't make you feel nothing. You are crazy. And I'm like, and that's where Sergio was like, yeah, I can relate to him right there. I about saw him right there. We were laying in bed. I was like, he lucky I didn't do it in his sleep.
And what did you tell him something?
Yeah, I was like, sir, that is not okay. No, but then he switched it up on me because he was like, because the girl was saying how she didn't like how he acted in front of his friends, how she basically felt ignored by him or whatever.
He switched up.
And then Sergio was like, that's how I feel when I'm with you and your friends. I'm like, honey, it's not my fault you were antisocial.
I feel like you're sweet to him when we're around.
I am. I'm like,
maybe that's what he means. He's like, you ain't that sweet when they're not around.
I try to involve, like, put him in the conversation with us. And he just, like, says one word and then he's just, like, staring at us. And I'm like, you know what, Sergio, just go sit in the corner and play your fucking games because I'm done. I was like, I'm trying to make you a lot more social and you're not helping your case, so.
Yeah, but I feel like you are nice to him, but
Yeah, me too,
I don't
but
know.
it's okay.
He's gonna watch this and be like, "Girl, if only you knew."
No, for real. But anyway, so yeah, that's the case with books and me. And you're a lot more of self-help books, so we should definitely trade
We should
and see.
do.
We can like trade every beginning of the month and
I'll
say
give you
like,
one, you give me
yeah,
one, and then you can tell me what you were interested in. Because I have so many like self help books. Like when I tell you, like probably like 80 in my house.
oh girl, I got like 100, but
Yeah.
of my little smut books.
I don't even have space. Like I don't even have as much space as like I took some to the podcast room because we want to use them as decoration.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should do that.
Circling back, this year is a year for you to take care of yourself, of your body, of your mental health. And I think it all starts with you changing you like changing the perspective of life and saying, I can't do this, but you can.
You
Right.
get to do this
Yeah,
instead of
and you get to do
I
this.
need to do this.
Yes. So I think changing the way that you think will also help you with waking up every single day and going to do something productive and going to the gym or just going for a walk.
Mhm.
Like there is no need for you to go and do heavy lifting unless you want to do it. But going for a walk will be a great change for you and you will start wanting to do more.
Yeah.
And wanting to get a lot more active and then finding your friends who support you. Like for me, I got Jackie. I have my friend Giselle and even Cece, even though she was mad at me the other day because I went to the gym with her.
And I'll support you drinking, and I'll support you at the gym. The friend that supports,
Exactly.
and at church, whatever. I'll support you.
Yes. Like me and Jackie, we see each other way too much, girl.
We were, you know, those friends that you have for certain things.
Yeah.
We're like the whole thing, but
Yeah, because and it's very important to have those people because if you don't, like you won't have the motivation to do things.
Mhm.
And I remember every day me and Jackie text each other, we're like, gym tomorrow? And then in the morning when we wake up, one of
you
us
don't want
texts
to
the
go.
other person, you're like, you awake yet? If like 30 minutes go by and she doesn't text
we're
back, I'm gonna go
sleeping.
back to
Me
sleep.
too. But I think we get there though. We go eventually, which is good. But yeah, it is important who you surround yourself with because if you're just around people who want to drink all the time, then they don't, and they're gonna not want you to go to the gym because they're the ones that are doing things because they're not going. But yeah, it is very important who you're
Very, very important. So yeah, this year is your year. If you have any questions on that, whether you don't know where to start or what to do, whether you're trying to change your habits and going to the gym or even reading the Bible, like reach out to us. We're more than happy to talk about it. Obviously, we're not experts and like I'm not an expert in the whole Bible thing and in my faith, and I'm not an expert in the gym. I mean, I'm beyond that. So, but we all start somewhere, and yeah. So I think it's a beautiful thing whenever you do start getting closer to God and to your faith, and you start working on yourself because you see things from a different perspective, and you're like, how lucky am I?
Yeah.
And one thing I do want to share is that when I think we learned this in Bible study a few weeks ago, whenever we were saying, or one of the girls was explaining how we always say it's unfair, that life is so unfair to us because of this reason or that reason. But she was like, you know what really was unfair? The way Jesus died
For all of us.
for all of us. And he was the purest human being on earth trying to spread love and the gospel. And the fact that humankind put him to death in that way, it literally gives you like goosebumps because you're just like, how could someone so pure and loving like do that and then still say at the very end like, Father, forgive them
Yeah.
for they do not know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like that's unfair. Like him dying for our sins in that way is unfair. Of course, that was his purpose in this life. That's the reason God put him in this life. But when you sit back and think about that, you really stop complaining about yours
Yep.
because we have free will for that same reason. You know, like reading the Old Testament, you go into where God would literally destroy cities that were living in sin. Like he would wipe them out without a second thought
Yeah.
because he's like, that is not the reason I created this world for. So the fact that he sent his only son to this earth to die that way or to die and to die for our sins, so that we wouldn't be punished in that way. And that way we have repentance whenever
Yep.
we die.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
And you know what I remember from that Bible study too is how when we sin, we're pretty much, God could literally take our life away for that, but he chooses not to. So every time we do something that we know it's not, God gave us this life just like he can take it. And when we are sinning, we're pretty much saying like, we don't care.
Yeah.
And the fact that we still get to wake up every day, even though we're sinners, even though we're not perfect, that's crazy.
It really is. And that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, every day, like, you can change your life so quick and so fast. And you can just be a better person today than you were yesterday. You can, be a better sister, be a better brother, be a better mom, dad, whatever the case is. You can be a better person. You can be a better person than your family member was. At the end of the day, it all starts with you.
Yep.
And there's nothing that nobody can tell you or anything until you decide that it's time for a change. So, with that being said, we're wrapping up this episode before we all start crying. No, but for real, like,
Cece's like,
no, but I mean, it's true. And I think that at the end of the day, I also feel like God doesn't give you more than you can handle.
yep.
Right?
I
That's
agree.
what I'm saying? So, no matter what you're going through in life, turn to Him. As it might seem that there's nobody there listening to you, I promise you, He's always there. He's always there holding you and hugging you and being at the door ready for you to open it to Him.
Yeah.
And you reading your Bible, you getting closer to faith does not make you a saint. It does not mean that if you drink, you're a terrible person. It does not mean if you say a bad word, you're a terrible person, no matter how much people want to make it out to be that way. I don't think that's the case. I think that we have been living with certain habits for so long in our life. It's going to take time to change. And surround yourself with people who want you to succeed, with people who want you to do better for yourself, not with people who are envious of you and always talking bad about you, because those are not your friends.
Yeah. Or people who think you're incapable of change.
Yes.
Because then they stick to this version of you that you don't even want to be anymore, but you become that around them because that's what they know and that's what they're comfortable with. Be okay with making other people feel uncomfortable with your change.
Exactly. And with that being said, yeah, we're done here. Anyways, today's coffee was not sponsored because I paid for it, but
It was sponsored to me by Jenny.
but it was sponsored by Bold. If you're in Asheboro, North Carolina, you know we have an abundance of beautiful local coffee shops and boutique stores, which I may spend a little bit too much time in there. And
What is your order at Bold?
So this one is a strawberry matcha with oat milk with strawberry cold foam.
Mine is the hangover cure, but it's vanilla honey, I think, flavor, honey vanilla. It's good with oat milk.
And then Cece over there gets her coffee hot, which is disgusting.
What do you
looking at-
get? Mine's hot.
I know, and I just looked at her. I gave her a major side eye. Anyways, and she only gets one shot of espresso.
No, it depends on the morning. If I've had a rough morning, I'll have 2 shots of espresso, sometimes 3.
But yes, Bold. And there's beautiful little antique shops here and boutiques. A lot of them. But thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you, Jackie, for being here with us.
Thank you for having
really
me.
enjoy and Cece for stopping in.
At your own
Even
office.
though this is her office.
Stopping in at your own office.
So yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.